My sense is her speech will deal with the importance of trying to make a difference in the world, which is completely resonant with what we do as far as trying to teach our students from the day they come here, although many of them come already predisposed to that very aspiration.
I think what I'm trying to communicate is just how fulfilling and important it can be to channel your energy, even at the front end of your career, against our world's most pressing problems.
The honorary degree recipients and our commencement speaker.
20 years ago, I set out to enlist my peers, graduating college seniors of all different majors and all different career interests, in a movement to improve the quality of education in our nation's urban and rural areas. At the time, the prevailing notion was that children's socioeconomic circumstances determine their educational outcomes. My senior year in college, there was a hit movie, maybe some of you have seen it, called Stand and Deliver. It was about a heroic teacher named Jaime Escalante who coached a class of students in South Central Los Angeles to pass the AP Calculus exam. Escalante's was one of the few visible examples of what might be possible for children in low-income communities to achieve, and the assumption was that his example was simply the result of one man's extraordinary charisma. There was little sense that his success could be widely replicated. And in fact, it's thinking about that movie that's so striking to me in terms of the notion that, you know, where the prevailing notion was at that point and how shocking his example was. ETS did not believe the test results, which created the drama in the movie. Hollywood thought it would be a major national hit, and in fact, it was. I'm glad I didn't wait to start Teach for America, because as I got deeper and deeper into this, I realized the full extent and magnitude of the problem of educational inequity and how it plays out in the lives of children and families, in whole communities. And I also realized that this is a problem that is, with time, solvable. I'm so grateful that I started early enough to have a chance to be part of its ultimate solution. Today, 20 years after my own graduation, I've personally seen hundreds of teachers who are proving, just as Jaime Escalante did, that when our nation's most economically disadvantaged children are given the opportunities they deserve, they excel on an absolute scale. Unlike 20 years ago, today we have hundreds of proof points at the level of classrooms and at the level of schools about what is possible. And the prevailing notion, at least in the most elite of journalistic and policy circles, is no longer that socioeconomic circumstances are determinative of educational outcomes. The question is no longer whether it is possible to put children growing up in poverty on a level playing field, but rather how to achieve such success on a significant scale. And that is a very different question. 20 years ago, I thought it was important to try to do something about the educational disparities in our nation, but it didn't occur to me then that we could literally realize educational excellence and equity by fueling a truly unstoppable movement to ensure that all of our nation's children have the opportunities they deserve. Today, thanks to the power of time and continuous improvement and a lot of hard work, this year Teach for America will bring in more people, 4,500 core members, than we did in our entire first decade. And thanks to the many things we have learned, they will be better trained and supported to make a difference for their students during their 2 years and to make a long-term difference as alumni. And we believe we still have the opportunity to double again over the coming 5 years while becoming still more effective, growing a teaching corps and an alumni force, ultimately tens of thousands strong, that is a formidable force for change. I am so glad I started in when I did, because there is simply so much to be done. And not only here in this country, but also in other countries. Well, I hope that you will all leave here determined to do your part in addressing the problems in education in urban and rural areas. For the graduates, my message is more universal. For you, I hope you will leave determined simply to take the first step in addressing one of the world's most pressing problems now, while you still have decades in front of you to come to true understanding of the problems, to find the path to actually solving them, and to achieve the depth of impact that is possible.